Coffee drinkers rejoice. Your daily brew isn't just a jolt of energy or an excuse to avoid small talk before 9 a.m. Increasingly, it's being linked to something much more exciting: a longer, healthier life. Over the past decade, genetics and molecular biology have started to catch up with the epidemiological buzz, and the picture that's emerging is surprisingly robust. From large-scale human studies to tiny cell experiments, coffee is showing up again and again as a kind of accidental wellness tonic. It's not magic, but the science is increasingly suggesting that this ancient beverage has more than just beans brewing beneath the surface. Let's start with the big stuff: population studies. Several large-scale analyses, including those from the UK Biobank and the NIHARP Diet and Health Study, have found consistent associations between regular coffee consumption and reduced all-cause mortality. We're talking up to 10 to 16% lower risk of death over several decades for people who drink moderate amounts, typically 2 to 4 cups a day. These benefits seem to apply to both caffeinated and decaf coffee, though the mechanisms may differ slightly. And it's not just about living longer. Coffee drinkers also tend to have lower rates of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, neurodegenerative conditions, and even some cancers. Of course, correlation isn't causation, but here's where the story gets interesting. Genetic research is now revealing why some of these effects may be more than coincidence. Genome-wide association studies, GWAS, have uncovered specific genetic variants related to how individuals metabolize caffeine, like polymorphisms in the CYP1A2 and AHR genes. People with fast metabolizing versions tend to tolerate caffeine better and may reap more of its health benefits without the anxiety, insomnia, or heart palpitations that plague slow metabolizers. This helps explain why the optimal coffee dose really does vary from person to person, and why some can guzzle espresso at midnight while others get heart flutters from a single sip of green tea. But beyond the genetics of caffeine metabolism, coffee appears to engage with nutrient-sensing pathways, the same ones implicated in aging. Chief among them are AMPK and mTOR, the metabolic yin and yang of longevity. Caffeine stimulates AMPK, the cellular energy sensor that promotes fat oxidation, glucose uptake, and autophagy, cellular cleanup. At the same time, it indirectly inhibits mTOR, a pathway that drives cell growth and is associated with aging and age-related diseases when chronically overactivated. In this way, coffee mimics some of the beneficial effects of fasting or caloric restriction, without requiring you to actually skip breakfast, unless you're into that. In cell culture and animal studies, compounds found in coffee, like chlorogenic acids, trigonelline, and polyphenol, have shown antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and even senolytic properties, meaning they help clear out old, dysfunctional cells. Some mouse studies suggest coffee components can improve mitochondrial function, reduce oxidative stress, and extend lifespan, especially when paired with other longevity-promoting factors like exercise or a balanced diet. The combination of these effects is what scientists call health span improvement, not just living longer, but living better, with more years free from disease and disability. Even more intriguingly, coffee may influence gene expression through epigenetic modifications. Recent research has shown that coffee consumption is associated with changes in DNA methylation at specific sites linked to inflammation, lipid metabolism, and insulin signaling. In plain English, coffee might be gently nudging your genes to behave in a more youthful, metabolically balanced way. It's like a molecular pep talk for your aging cells. That said, not all coffee is created equal. The preparation method matters. Unfiltered coffee, like French press or espresso, can raise LDL cholesterol due to compounds like cafestol. Add-ins like sugar, flavored syrups, and excessive cream turn a potential longevity drink into a metabolic landmine. And of course, moderation still counts. High doses of caffeine can disrupt sleep, increase anxiety, and even raise blood pressure in sensitive individuals. Still, the overall pattern is hard to ignore. Coffee isn't a cure-all, but it's becoming increasingly clear that it's far more than just a comfort drink. For many people, it may act as a daily microdose of metabolic therapy, stimulating energy-sensing pathways, improving glucose control, protecting the brain, and extending health span through mechanisms that our genes and cells have quietly conserved over millions of years. So the next time you sip your coffee, feel free to imagine your mitochondria doing a tiny celebratory dance. Because what used to be just a morning ritual is now, according to science, a cupful of longevity.